Okay, so this is part 2 of making simple cheesecake. Now, if you've not watched video 1, please watch video 1 first. This is the product of the cheesecake that we prepared in video 1. Alright? It is all done. It has been setting in the fridge for now 24 hours. And we slowly remove it from the springform pan. Very, very slowly. Okay? And the reason we do it so slowly is so that it does not break apart upon removal. Very slowly, at a snail's pace. Kind of like the drum roll moment. Okay. So you see the springform pan comes right up. Put that aside. And voila, here's your product. A nice, healthy 10-inch cheesecake, ladies and gentlemen. Alrighty. So the next step after this, we now place it and set it to remove the other piece of the springform pan, the metal bottom. So what we'll do with that, we'll do this, flip it over, and simply pull it off. Easy breezy. 1, 2, 3. That's how you get your cheesecake out of a springform pan. And then we put another piece here. Yeah, all right. Put it back over. And wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. This process is complete. Now, at this point, the individual has requested the cake to be sliced. Okay? As my cake slicer is in the shop at the moment, I'm going to simply use a large butcher knife to execute this action. Cutting it first down the middle. Should cut very easily without issues or problems. Alrighty, see? Very simple. Slit in the middle. Okay. Two, 4, 6, 8. And then we're just going to cut this literally into slices. Very carefully, of course, as to not destroy your product in the process of slicing it. When you do get bits and pieces, obviously it's inevitable that come back up with the knife. Merely scrape it off, and you of course can keep this right here with the cheesecake itself. I'm just gonna here put this on a napkin and reinterpret that with the cheesecake. Okay. Go. and our cheesecake is fully cut. Okay. Now, this cheesecake is going to be topped off with strawberries. Okay. So, no worries. It will all be eaten just the same. That back in there for a little center. So yes, slicer is highly preferred, but if you do not have one, a simple serrated knife will do. Put that back in here. All right, just so you can see what these slices look like. Right, delicious, delicious pie right there. Put that back there. Now, as I said yesterday, we do not believe in waste. Therefore, we are going to spread any remaining pieces of cheesecake that were removed in the slicing process right back onto the cheesecake itself. Again, this is going to be covered, so it is of no issue or consequence one way or another. Again, it shall be eaten just the same. Right? It's all cheesecake. Okay. And so I just smooth over these grid lines, slice lines rather. Okay. Right in there. We make sure all of our cuts are thorough and clean. Now, it's my personal preference. I don't enjoy pre-slicing a cheesecake for anyone. This is what they requested though. But c'est la vie. So we fulfill the customer's requests as best as possible. And now we proceed to decorate. All right. I'm just using regular strawberry glaze right here, fresh strawberries. Pardon while I rinse these. Okay, so I am now in process of putting the strawberries on this cake. Very simple, not difficult to do at all. Just dipping the strawberries in the glaze and putting it on the cake, slice by slice. As a general rule, I do not normally pre-slice cheesecakes, for the record. I don't care for it. I prefer you do that on your own because you know exactly how many slices you would like to par out of your cheesecake. And only under limited exceptions do I break this rule. But we're just putting these strawberries on one by one, creating an aesthetically appealing design as much as possible. Now, one thing to remember, once the customer is in receipt of this product, it is completely on them how they choose to arrange or rearrange whatsoever you have done with it. So please do not lose any sleep over that. All right. You, as the cheesecake baker, just put your best foot forward. Okay. Do what the customer asks. All right. If you're going to ad-lib a customer's order, and by ad-lib, of course, mean just as when you do it with a song, you putting your own lyrics in there in place of the actual ones. If you're going to ad-lib a customer's order in any way, shape, or form, you better make sure that you're ad-libbing it in a way that is at least consistent with what they've asked for. Otherwise, you may find yourself with a dissatisfied customer, and that's not what you want, because then they will not come back to you. Makes sense, right? Of course, why would you? Excuse me, if you have asked for something and the baker is doing their own thing, you're probably not likely to go back to them. And the same is true. So what I'm going to do now is just sprinkle, or rather pour a little bit of glaze in between the strawberries on the cake to give it a little finishing aesthetic. Okay. The beauty and marvel of baking is that when you do make mistakes, and they will happen, that's inevitable, you're a human. With baking, it's so many creative ways to cover them up. And when it comes to a cheesecake, especially a cheesecake that has a topped glaze on it, it's very easy to paint over thy mistakes. Alright? Even though this one didn't have any mistakes, I'm just throwing this out there as a general rule to you rookie neophyte cheesecake bakers. And so, again, just sprinkle and la-di-da-di everybody. You know. Make sure every piece gets something. And we're just tossing this about. So that every piece and everything has at least some glaze and some strawberry. This customer did not want an excessive amount of glaze, the emphasis being on the strawberries covered in glaze, and that too is fine. Again, what they want is what they shall receive. Okay. So, without further ado, this is what our final product looks like, okay? A delicious strawberry cheesecake. All right, that's been pre-sliced and is now ready for service. All right, so you have any questions or comments, leave them down below. I'll be happy to answer them. Thanks for watching the completion of this cheesecake baking video. Until next time, Professor Shelton out.